here to speak to all of you, and I'd like to thank Sharon Taylor, the program chair of the International Club of Annapolis, for inviting me. She invited me last July, and I think she reminded my staff every month, don't forget, I'm going to speak at our club. And so here I am, and I'm very happy to be here. I also would like to thank your president, Phil, for sitting down and listening to all the stories that I tell him. And he's got a lot of stories to tell me too, which was very interesting. And thank you very much for hosting me tonight. So distinguished members in Parliament, or members, participants of the International Club of Annapolis, it is really an honor for me to be able to speak to you tonight and to give you some of our thoughts on the Philippines, U.S.-United States bilateral relations. And now all of you can actually play some kind of a role in helping deepen this very special relationship. The Philippines is proud to call itself a friend, an ally, and partner of the United States. Aside from chairing the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations next year, the Philippines will also be marking the 80th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations with the United States. But our ties date back to the first documented arrivals of Filipinos in the United States, specifically in Morro Bay, California, aboard a Spanish ship in October 1587, which is why we celebrate Filipino-American History Month in the month of October. Since then, we have accumulated many superlatives in our relationship. To name a few, we are America's oldest treaty ally, going on 75 years now. The United States is also the top destination for Philippine exports, and there are upwards of about 4.3 million Filipino Americans who call this country their home. And they continuously to bring pride to our motherland, nonetheless as they keep values, Philippine values and traditions alive. I also would like to adopt the characterization of Philippines-US relations today as elucidated by our President during a recent forum in Manila. The Philippines, or the Philippine United Alliance, serves the regional interest of upholding the rule of law and maintaining peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Second, our joint economic security complements our mutual defense. And third, the alliance has stood the test of time and will continue to progress in response to emerging challenges. Our alliance is actually approaching, as I said, 75 years, our mutual defense treaty with the United States. Over the years, we recall that our countries have faced most significant threats to international peace and security, united in defense of democracy and the rule of law. Today, there is wide consensus that the most significant threat to this order is China. And we, the Philippines, remain on the front lines of China's illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive actions in the South China Sea. We therefore align ourselves with the United States vision for strength through deterrence in the Indo-Pacific region, as outlined by the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. During Secretary Hegseth's visit to Manila in March, we committed ourselves to boosting defense industrial cooperation with the United States in such areas as production of unmanned systems and energetics and ship and energy or aircraft maintenance and repair. In short, the Philippines aims to be a real partner to the United States, a real contributor to our mutual defense. This is a point, or in this point number 2, the inextricable link between national security and economic security. Promoting greater and mutually beneficial trade and investments between our two countries will help strengthen the Philippine economy, giving us the wherewithal to invest in our defense which in turn will fortify our mutual defense. As you are all aware, President Marcos was in Washington, D.C. last July 20th or 22nd as the first ASEAN leader to be invited by President Trump for an official visit. In President Marcos' meeting with President Trump, they reaffirmed the ironclad United States-Philippine alliance as vital to peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region, while advancing closer economic ties, including supply chain cooperation. During his visit, President Marcos also had the opportunity to meet with key private investment firms who have also conveyed their commitment to also expand their presence and investments in the Philippines due to the exciting and promising prospects for growth. While I was in Manila last August, I was very pleased to work with the U.S. ASEAN Business Council to welcome nearly 60 U.S. companies to back-to-back business and defense industry missions, the largest ever U.S. ABC business mission to the Philippines to date. I was very pleased to witness the signing last June between the Department of Transportation of the Philippines and the U.S. Trade and Development Agency of Technical Assistance grant that will fund the pre-feasibility studies for the flagship Subic-Clark-Manila-Batangas Railway project along the Luzon Economic Corridor. This freight rail will be a vital game changer because it will link most of the important ports and economic hubs in our country, the Subic port, the Manila port, and the Batangas port together, comprising about 80% of all the volume of port traffic in the Philippines. The Philippines is also very appreciative of the commitment made by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to work with us in our shared prosperity goals. During President Marcos' visit last July, we welcomed Secretary Rubio's announcement for his plan to work with Congress to provide additional funding for the private sector development of the Luzon Economic Corridor. Furthermore, we also welcome Secretary Rubio's announcement last July or September 11 of plans to allocate as much as we can, or about $250 million in assistance to address acute public health challenges in our country. For its part, the Philippines continues to accelerate the passage of economic reforms that will strengthen the governance of critical industries, open up the market to greater private sector participation, demonstrate the government's commitment to solve bottlenecks to infrastructure development, and build confidence in the country as a stronger and strategic real partner in these very uncertain times. We will therefore continue to find ways to advance our economic partnership with the United States. We remain positive about the future of our Philippine-U.S. trade and investment relations, especially in the context of economic security and fair, balanced, reciprocal trade, and expressed our commitment to continue engaging our team into further boosting Philippine-U.S. economic ties and strengthen the Philippine economic security. President Marcos' last point on our alliance circles us back to the region at large. Our bilateral alliance is situated with a network of trilateral and multilateral arrangements with like-minded nations. We have a growing trilateral partnership with the United States and Japan, under which we have a maritime dialogue last December and a national security meeting last May. With the United States and Australia, we conducted a multilateral maritime cooperative activity within the Philippines exclusive economic zone last April. And of course, Japan and Australia participated in our largest ever Balikatan joint military exercises earlier this year. Make no mistake, there is a country that is now challenging all of us. They want to dominate the Indo-Pacific region and be the dominant power in the world. I have no doubt that they have planned this for many years, and we, like-minded countries, must band together and be together and making sure that no one country dominates the world today. Such multilateral cooperation is not limited to defense and security either. The railway project mentioned earlier is one of the reasons for the infrastructure projects under the Luzon Economic Corridor, which is an initiative that has received significant support from both Japan and other like-minded countries. Among this menu of platforms, we also have the ASEAN-US Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, as well as engagement in the United Nations. The US is currently re-evaluating its role in this very important institution, but as it has said decades past, we're confident that the United States will continue to embrace its role as an outside force for good in the Indo-Pacific region and the world. This is a good time for us to segue into the ASEAN chairship, which is next year. Like the United States, our relationship with the ASEAN is at the core of our foreign policy. The Philippines being a proud founding member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. We last chaired the ASEAN in 2017, which was also when I began my post here in Washington, D.C. That year was also ASEAN's 50th founding anniversary. Our organization has come a long way, and we are in fact set to grow from 10 to 11 very soon with the addition of Timor-Leste. We are again honored to take up the mantle of ASEAN next year, 9 years on. As chair of the ASEAN in 2026, the Philippines looks forward to building on the gains of Malaysia's exclusivity and sustainability theme and carry on the ASEAN forward as in our theme, we navigate our future together. We believe that the Philippines chairship arrives at the critical juncture of ASEAN as we collectively face key cross-cutting issues in the region, namely on peace and security, maritime and climate change. And you can count on the Philippines' steadfast commitment to navigate the future with unwavering confidence in ASEAN and our community. In this regard, we build upon ASEAN's legacy of constitution, consensus, and mutual respect. We will continue to forge catalyzing and transforming initiatives that will provide stability to the ASEAN region. And we will champion peace and security, promote shared prosperity, and foster people empowerment to the ASEAN and to the world. Next year, the Philippines will commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, marking 50 years of cooperation and dialogue in the region and beyond. We will continue to champion peace and security through dialogue, adherence to international law, and enhanced cooperation on traditional and non-traditional security issues. On ASEAN external relations during our chairship of the ASEAN in 2026, the Philippines will promote broader and deeper engagement with all our external partners across all three pillars of the ASEAN community, guided by ASEAN centrality and the purpose and principles of ASEAN as enshrined in the Charter. As I said, the Philippines is committed to our relationship with all countries, most specifically our #1 treaty partner, the United States. We are committed to that end, and we will continue to do our part, as we have always been since World War II. I will stop there, and I am happy to answer any of your questions and listen to your comments too. But before that, I think we'd like to show you something about the Philippines. We want to invite all of you to come and visit the Philippines. If you've never been there, then you're really missing a lot. For those of you who have been there, they know the kind of hospitality that we have. If you're an American, 9 out of 10, you will be invited to their home the first hour you're in Manila. That's how much we appreciate our friends here in the United States. So we'd like to show a video, and I hope you...
6737.
My staff has it all set. Otherwise, we'll send you back.
We have to turn on